Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy. It is a, 9/11 on a Saturday morning. So I'm not 100% awake. It usually takes me a couple of hours to really rev up. But I was in the mood to play with my cards. And something I've been putting off was something suggested by the book that's in front of the camera right now, Tarot and Psychology, Spectrums of Possibility by Arthur Rosengarten. So I will eventually do a review of this book, definitely worth reading. But one of the things, I'm nearing the end here. Well, I'm about 2/3 finished, I guess. And he has this interesting idea. Here, I don't know if I can get my webcam to focus. Now, these are chosen cards, you know, and so this is something that within the realm of psychology, you know, and, you know, we do this for intention setting also, right? Is that instead of doing a random draw, you actually look at the cards and pick them out. And in this case, what he did is he put the Fool in the middle, and then he just, quote-unquote, randomly placed the others around the Fool. And so this is supposed to be kind of a map. How does he say? I'm calling this a radiant map because things are radiating from a center. It says the following configuration is a projected and spontaneous image of the psychic condition of this author at this moment. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. I think it's a really interesting idea. This is only major arcana that he's using here. And so I thought I would do that. He doesn't go into a lot of talk about the meaning of this, that, you know, what it means. I think it probably, especially being so complicated with using all 22 major arcana, it's something that would be hard to have meaning for outside of the person arranging the cards. But I think it's an interesting exercise for anybody who is into tarot. I think it's it would even be a really interesting exercise for somebody who is new to the tarot, you know, as a way to get familiar with the major arcana. And one thing I was thinking in terms of doing it was to add another dimension, and that is putting the cards closer or farther from the center in terms of how immediate they are to you, or how kind of out on the periphery they are for you. So kind of another spatial dimension there. So I wanted to play with my major arcana, and I'm using the Tarot Illuminati. And try that. I have another idea. You know, that's a book about psychology, so it's wanting to deal a lot with the major arcana, or the depth of the major arcana. But you know, sometimes we're very mired in our minor arcana life. And so another thing I want to do, I'm not sure if I'll make it a separate video or not, will be to do a similar kind of configuration, not with all of the minor arcana, but I will take out of the deck things that I think are relevant, pressing even minor arcana issues for me now, and do a similar kind of mandala or radiant map out of them. And with the minor arcana, then, what I'm going to do, I think, is treat these as helpers, treat the major arcana as helpers, And for each minor arcana, I'm going to select a major arcana as a helper for that situation. So here we go. First I'm going to do what he has in the book, and I am going to start with the Fool. Now, anybody who, and I'm going to orient this toward me as opposed to toward the camera. Maybe I'll switch it around once I'm finished, but you know, anybody who knows me knows I have a strong connection to the Fool anyway. In fact, my connection to the Fool is so strong that I'm starting to question it. I'm starting to question how it doesn't serve me. And I've known in some ways that it doesn't serve me, but I think I've never gotten fully in touch with it. So there are times when my Fool is upright, and there's times I think that it is reversed, and not in the sense of taking unreasonable risks, but in terms of being sort of, I'm going to say, addicted to the beginner's mind. And that came up also because of Self-Love September. I saw something going around about addiction. Now, I can't say that I'm addicted to technology. I can't say that I'm addicted to substances. But this, I need to explore the extent to which I might be addicted to a certain mindset or experience, in this case, the beginner's mind, the Fool, and why that would be. But that's not what we're going to do here today, or that's not my intention, but it's just saying why the Fool would be an appropriate card to have here in the center for me. And I don't think just because it's 0, and just because it's the beginner, it necessarily needs to be the, I'm sorry, I just saw a little problem I needed to take care of. I don't think it needs to be the center card. But I'm going to put it here in keeping with the way he's starting it, and because of my own relationship with the Fool. And I just pulled the cards out of the Tarot Illuminati. You know, I haven't reordered them. I haven't put them in order. So as they come up on in my hand here, I'm just going to place them. So, and I'm going to put the Death card here. I need a bigger table. You know, this would be something that you do on a big table in order to kind of play with the spatial relationships. I think the Death would probably be a little bit midway. I'm actually wanting some endings, but I think it's not hugging the Fool here. The Sun, actually, here's the Sun here too. I'm going to put the Sun up here. The Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune, I'm going to put down here with Death. The Empress, I'm needing the Empress up here. The High Priestess, I feel like putting her right here. The Moon card. Now the Moon card is really interesting because it has been calling to me. I'm going to put it out here though. And I can't, can I position this? No, I really can't. There's no way to kind of get them all in there. Maybe when I'm finished I'll move the webcam and see if I can get them all in. And I am going to have to move it all over here to get it in. So yeah, I haven't figured out the Moon. I haven't why it's calling to me. But it's really being insistent that I address it. The Star. I'm going to put the Star over here with the Moon and the High Priestess. The Devil. I'm going to put the Devil down here with Death. The Hierophant. You know what? I'm going to put the Hierophant up here. This is very intuitive and interesting, creates an interesting dynamic up here. But the Hierophant up at the top. You know what? The Hierophant has kind of a father. I don't think of my father, my actual father, as being a Hierophant. Quite, just not. But that's the vibe I'm getting from this right now, and my actual father. The Alchemist. I feel like this is calling for me to get my shit straight. And the Alchemist, or the Magician. Where do I want the Magician? Well, isn't this a curious thing? That I kind of am blanking. The others I had pretty easy placing them. But I don't know where I want to place the Magician. I feel like I need to place him over here. It's interesting to me that I feel like he's kind of far away from me. Okay, Justice. I'm going to put Justice up here with the Empress. The Hanged Man. I'm going to put him here. You know, I need a bigger space. This definitely requires a bigger space. A bigger space. The World. I'm going to put the World right in front of the Fool. I think the Fool needs to keep the World in mind. The Emperor. The Emperor. So I'm going to have to layer these cards to some extent. Where am I going to put the Emperor? I'm going to put the Emperor here with Death and the Devil. This is like my strict area here, I feel like. And there's some of that going on up here. Strength. And I feel like what's coming through with strength for me, especially with this particular, just the image on this card, and I am very much somebody who reads the images as being my weakness for animals and wild things and nurturing those wild things. Yeah, that's like, this needs to practically be on top of the Fool, or maybe the Fool and the Devil, but I'm going to put it here between the Fool and the High Priestess. The Tower card. I'm going to put the Tower card right here. Right, by Justice, in the conglomeration of Justice, the World, the Fool. And I think that there are some things that just need to be turned on their heads there. So maybe I need my Fool to step into the Tower there. Or maybe not. Maybe he always is stepping into the Tower. And I need him to stop stepping into the Tower. The Hermit. I'm going to put the Hermit down here with the Moon. The Moon and the Wheel of Fortune. The Lovers. Yeah, the Lovers is another difficult one, because I'm not feeling it these days. I'm going to put it over here with the Alchemist, the Magician, and the Star. So I'm going to keep it in a positive place, but it's out here on the periphery. Judgment. I'm going to put that down here with Death appropriately, and the Wheel. I only have 2 cards left, but I need to blow my nose, excuse me. This is one of the hazards of doing things before my body is fully charged. Temperance. Oh, I think I need temperance everywhere, in all meanings of the word. I'm I feel like it needs to go here. Temperance between the Fool and the world. And the Chariot. Things are so layered now, they're kind of difficult to see. Like I said, I think it needs to be, this needs to be done like on a bed or on a large table. And then maybe a picture made of it for future, for just staring and analyzing. Because I think where I'm putting these things, I think it is informing me a little bit about some of the issues as I do this, and perhaps some of the solutions to some of the issues. Excuse me. All right, so the Chariot, moving forward, charging in. What's funny is I don't, and again, this is my tarot birth card, but I'm not feeling a natural place for it here. You know what? I feel like it's somehow connected to the Devil. Maybe I'm charging in to remedy situations that I'm chained in. And it makes sense with the Emperor. If you think of the Emperor as sending the Chariot out to, as an emissary or to war. All right. So having done this, I wasn't sure what would, if it would offer that much insight, or if it would just feel sort of random and stupid, I wasn't sure. But I feel like it does offer some interesting perspectives on my situations, like just putting the Hermit with the Moon and putting the Moon next to the Wheel of Fortune and under the Star, and sort of on the periphery here is interesting to me. And in the Moon and the Sun keep coming up in readings for me as in opposition. And you can't see my hands, I'm way over here on the side. So this is, excuse me, let me see. I'm sorry if this creates a great deal of nausea. I'm trying to show all of it together. So here I have the Moon and the Sun, and they have been turning up very much in opposition in my readings, and I have them sort of, they're not in complete opposition, but they are here. And I feel like this is my present sort of up here, and this is my future, to be honest. I feel like this is the future. So lots of things for me to contemplate here as I look at this. So, and because I do want to look at this, and whoops, I'm going to bring that down here. Because I do want to look at it, I'm going to make that other map, that other radiant map of using the minor arcana with the major arcana, and not all of them, because as a problem solving, this I think feels like too much for problem solving. And the other map I was thinking about, where I put down, kind of the minor arcana issues that I'm dealing with right now, and then a major arcana card as a helper to help me with it, that is more of a problem-solving kind of a created, I don't even know if you'd call it a spread. I guess you would call it created spread, something like that. But at this point, I can definitely say that this was a really interesting exercise, and I am going to look at it for a minute after I get off of the video, and so I can easily recommend it for anybody who has a deck. All right, take care. Bye-bye.